They called it royal blood, the purest, most powerful bloodline in the world. But behind the crowns and portraits was a secret so twisted, it nearly wiped out entire dynasties. This is the story of how Europe's royal families destroyed themselves by marrying each other. For centuries, kings and queens didn't marry for love. They married for power. Land, alliances, thrones, all of it stayed in the family if royals married royals. But there were only so many royal families in Europe, so cousins married cousins. Uncles married nieces, and in some truly extreme cases, siblings married siblings. They believed they were keeping their bloodline pure. What they were actually doing was slowly poisoning it. No family took this further than the Habsburgs, one of the most powerful dynasties in European history. It loops back on itself again and again. For generations, they intermarried so aggressively that their family tree barely branches, and the results were written directly onto their faces. Look at any Habsburg portrait and you'll notice it, an enormous protruding lower jaw. So pronounced some family members couldn't fully close their mouths or chew properly. It's called mandibular prognathism, and it became a walking symptom of just how inbred this family really was. But the jaw was only the beginning. By 1661, the Habsburg bloodline produced Charles II of Spain. His parents were uncle and niece. His grandmother was also his aunt. Genetically, Charles was closer to the child of siblings than of a normal couple. The result was devastating. He couldn't speak clearly until age 4. He couldn't walk until 8. He suffered seizures, infertility, and a jaw so severe he could barely eat. Contemporaries described him as slow, sickly, and disabled his entire life. He became known by a brutal nickname, El Hechizado, the Bewitched, because people genuinely believed he was cursed. Charles II never had children. When he died in 1700, the Spanish Habsburg line died with him, triggering a war fought across Europe just to decide who would take the throne. Centuries of keeping the bloodline pure ended in the bloodline simply ending. The Habsburgs weren't alone. Egypt's pharaohs married siblings to preserve divine bloodlines. European royal courts across England, Russia, and Portugal saw generations of hemophilia, stillbirths, and developmental disorders quietly hidden behind palace walls. Queen Victoria's descendants carried hemophilia into royal families across an entire continent. A genetic time bomb spread by marriage alliances. Here's why this happens. We all carry hidden genetic mutations, usually harmless because we inherit different versions of genes from two unrelated parents. But when parents are closely related, they're far more likely to carry the same hidden mutations. Suddenly, those harmful traits aren't hidden anymore. They're doubled up, and they surface as disability, illness, and infertility. Eventually, even royalty couldn't ignore the pattern. Weak heirs, dying bloodlines, and visibly declining health forced royal families to widen the gene pool, marrying into other kingdoms instead of their own relatives. It wasn't morality that ended royal inbreeding. It was survival. The most elite bloodlines in history weren't strengthened by staying pure. They were destroyed by it. If you found this as unsettling as we did, hit subscribe because history's darkest secrets are exactly what we cover here.